And it's us, the Horror Guys, with another episode of...
The Horror Guys.
Yeah,
Yay!
funny how that worked.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
We're going to talk about 5 movies we saw this week.
We're going to bring you all the monkey brains you can eat. Twice.
Warm by the spoonful.
Yes.
I didn't hate anything this week.
I
have a clear winner. But, I was at least moderately entertained by all these.
I'll go with moderately on one of them. But yeah, they were all pretty... They're all noteworthy.
Yeah. They were, for various reasons.
Well, what do we have?
Well, we're going to go back in time to 1978 with Faces of Death. And then, brand new this year, there's Faces of Death again.
Are they related? We'll find out.
Yeah. And an interesting one from 2024 called Protanopia.
Protanopia.
I totally mispronounced that.
It's a weird word.
Protanopia.
It just doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It does not, yeah. And a creepy monster stalkery kind of thing, Strawstalker from 2026. And a very science fiction one, Voidance, also from 2026.
All right. Sounds like a fun group.
Yeah.
And, of course, we don't spoil the movies here on the Horror Guys podcast, but we do spoil them at horrorweekly.com, where you can get the entire review, including full synopsis, including spoilers, every week for free in your mailbox.
Here we just give you a little taste and give our opinions.
I think a lot of people don't sign up for the mailing list because they think we're going to spam them to death.
No, that's not the case.
I don't think we have ever sent anything out in that mailing list other than one email a week.
Yeah. And then you can go to the website and check out everything, too.
If you want to, sure.
Yeah.
HorrorWeekly.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to HorrorWeekly.com, look at it. What you see there, each post, you'll get one of those a week. So, yeah, no commit. You don't even have to give up your email to find out.
Yeah.
But if you really hate your email lists, go over to HorrorMonthly.com and pick up a book. An entire month's worth of reviews in one easy shot.
Awesome.
Read them on your Kindle, your Kobo, or your books or whatever kind of tablet thing you've got, iPad, it's all good.
You can even get physical copies, I understand.
No,
yeah.
Paperbacks?
Yeah, that you can actually hold in your hand and it doesn't need batteries.
Those are the best.
Yeah, those are cool.
All right, well, we are going to start off in space.
With Voidance.
Voidance, 2026, directed by Marianna Dean, written by Simon X. Frederick. I don't know what his middle name is, but I want my middle name to start with an X.
Maybe it's just X.
Stars Zoe Cunningham, James Cosmo, and Eloise Lovell Anderson. And there is a trailer in the usual place in the show notes.
And quite a few other people. It's got a pretty good-sized cast.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, spoiler-free.
Well, Alana wants to join the elite ATIC Guard. It's an acronym, ATIC.
I have no idea what it stands for.
But in order to be accepted, she has to complete a simulated mission to solve a mystery and stop a terrorist attack. It plays out like a holographic video game that she gradually solves in steps and has to go back to the beginning of the program when she fails. And she only gets 20 chances to get it right. It's far in the future and far from Earth. Heavy science fiction and not really horror. I thought it was great. You were less pleased, but I don't think you were nearly as entertained as I was. But
it was all right.
This one I'm going to say is my favorite of the week.
If you like watching the same scene over and over from different points of view, like Star Trek episodes do that sometimes, and time loops and stuff like that where we did it wrong. We'll have to do it right again.
Do it from this angle this time. And this time I'll start on this floor and with this person.
This is that sort of thing.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Well, at ATIC headquarters on Atopia, an agent is congratulated on making it this far. Agent Polo comes in on a hologram and explains to Alana about her mission. A spaceship has been stolen and used to rob a cargo ship. This crime was perpetrated by a terrorist group on the neighboring planet, Cho-Hacha. Alana's mission is to find the ship, arrest the assailants, and figure out what's going on. And if he said anything about it being a simulation, I missed it. I thought for the first 15 minutes, what the hell is going on here?
Mm-hmm. It quickly becomes clear, but until she actually started doing it, I wasn't completely clear on it. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's not made super clear at the beginning.
Later, in the Forge, the space bar on Cho-Hacha, the people there don't like ATIC very much, and no one will talk to her.
Yeah, she gets nowhere on her first attempt.
Yeah. Suddenly, everyone in the bar starts arguing with each other, and a curfew is immediately announced. The power resets, and suddenly everyone is normal again. Oh. Was that game over?
Yep, it was.
5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Well, she goes to another room and finds a dead man and a dead woman. 3 other men are there, claiming to have found the bodies first. One of the men, Tashir, isn't supposed to be there. They all argue, and something happens behind Alana.
Blam.
She's been killed. Fail again.
Reset.
Back in the forge, Alana watches everything she saw before. Again. Curfew is raised again. There's people there doing other things again. And yeah, basically, can she ever solve this mystery?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
again and again and again.
People
and again.
getting killed, and yeah. And her frustration grows, and I thought it was amusing because there's a few times when she can interact somewhat with the game controller. What was his name? The
Polo.
Head, yeah, Polo, and also her watch. But the game, the avatars, the game, whatever you call them, simulations, have no clue that, and they're very confused. Like, who are you talking to? What?
Yeah, it's like watching someone play a video game with save points, but this one is obviously set in a training simulator. They make really good use of limited sets and rooms. The costumes are good, and it's clear that the writers have a whole backstory or world in mind that we only get small glimpses of. We don't know much about ATIC or why the Chohachans hate them or what all the politics is, but somebody's thought through this stuff, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought there was too much going on that we didn't know. It was sort of like a whodunit, we really had no idea what was going on.
Well, we gradually figure it out.
Right at the very end.
Yeah.
But it wasn't an action movie either. It was a lot to like watching someone play a video game and getting through it by brute force trial and error. That's the only way I ever beat those things.
Yeah, well,
yep, I'm dead. Let's turn left this time. Mm-hmm. It's well made, but it didn't do too much for me.
Yeah, I thought it was great. In the future, Britain will conquer space.
They are all British sounding, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was fun to see the same scenario and characters played out repeatedly with different variations as she tries different things.
I see a Groundhog Day reference here.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I kept thinking of Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where you go through just a little further each time and try to get everything just right. And actually, it reminded me of the frustration of playing some video games. I remember one that I played a long time ago called Phantasmagoria. That was a good one. It had a set story though, and in order to win, you were playing from
young people. That was back in the 90s. I remember that one.
Yeah, you were playing from the point of view of an innkeeper, a woman, and the only way to win was for her husband to die, and I didn't want that to happen. And you got 2 choices: you can do it this way and win, or you can lose the game. She was kind of faced with a situation where stuff happened and there was a character that she cared about. She didn't want this character to have to die. That was how the game had to be played. She had, you got a choice. You can lose and not be an agent, or you can have this patient, this person die, and there, you won. And, and I thought that left the ending a little bit ambiguous because of that.
She won, but she wasn't happy about it.
Yeah, and then at the very end, she's in the real world, and it leaves you wondering, how on board with this is she? Or has she accepted, this is what I got to do because there's no other choice?
But you said she had to kill somebody she cares about.
Yeah.
It's just a video game.
Yeah, I know. But there's that feeling, I don't want this character to die. And
okay.
And there it is, you got 2 choices, take it or leave it.
Oh, look, it's Strawstalker, the next movie on our list.
Yeah.
Directed by George Henry Horton, written by him also, stars Brannica Scott, George Henry Horton, and Dallas Steinbach. And there is a trailer on YouTube. Spoiler free. A fame-seeking social media couple moves to a community on the edges of L.A. and gets ensnared with a powerful scarecrow creature. It's found footage being live-streamed with a stream of follower comments scrolling through the side of the screen for much of the movie, which was an interesting touch. We both thought it was technically good, a decent story at the core, and realistic effects, but we also wish it had gotten to the good stuff sooner.
Uh-huh.
I didn't care for it at all, And Kevin gives it a low-key thumbs up.
Yeah, all in all, I thought it was okay. But yeah, there's a long time going through the influencer stuff. And
Oh, I hated these people and wish they died in the first 2 minutes. Baby.
oh, he overuses that phrase too much. Yeah. We open up on Kurt, who's one of those financial vloggers who clearly doesn't know what he's doing. He talks about fake and pretentious vloggers, which is ironic because he's being one himself. He talks about getting high last night so much that he doesn't even remember what was happening and what he's going to show us.
And what is the point of his character?
I don't know exactly.
It's not really an introduction because the real characters introduce themselves later. This is just showing us what an ass vloggers are, I guess.
That way somebody could be filming. He was the third person who was there filming.
Was he?
Yeah. Because otherwise it would
I was under the impression they submitted the footage to him and he's just some guy.
No, I think he was actually there.
Okay.
Yeah. At least for much of it. Yeah.
Well, what else?
Well, we start with a girl talking about an influencer house. Kurt comes back on and talks about what a weird neighborhood that is.
He's right.
Henry and Haley are in that house, and they are influencers, and they are obnoxiously pleased with being in L.A., heavy on the obnoxious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Henry is the one who keeps saying baby, overused, yeah. Well, they go into their new rental house and find it's full of someone else's clothes. There's a whole bunch of stuff, really nice things that got left behind. Well, they stop and have sex, but we see someone stalking around outside their window. And after way too much foolishness, they find a stuffed scarecrow-looking thing in their backyard.
And this is just a suburban residential house. You don't need a scarecrow in a place like this.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of L.A. Has a small, kind of suburb vibe to it.
Yeah.
Very upscale, very rich, very, big houses.
It's an influencer house.
Mm-hmm. Well, the couple takes a cab tour of L.A. and Hollywood, and it's not so impressive. Haley is really concerned about that scary scarecrow outside, but Henry laughs it off. Worrying about it, laying in the backyard, literally keeps her up all night.
Really, though?
Yeah,
it's a freaking scarecrow
she's really
doll.
Freaked out about it, yeah. Well, she gets Henry to go out and find the scarecrow, which might have made one of the neighbors scream. Also, maybe it moves when they aren't looking.
Maybe it does.
Yeah. Well, Eleanor comes over in the morning to see their monster. She's the owner of the house, and she promises to have the gardener remove it next week. And the couple then prepare to give a house party. At the party, we get body cam footage from the cops who have come to warn them about the neighborhood.
This made no sense to me either. This is a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, it is. Well, there's a creepy guest there who asks about the dead crows they found in the backyard. She asks Henry about the scarecrow, which has now vanished. And now Henry is kind of terrified of the scarecrow.
Okay, so everybody is terrified of the scarecrow, baby.
Yeah.
And well, things escalate.
Yeah, they do. Finally.
If I knew somebody who said baby as much as Henry, I'd kill him myself. Actually, I was hoping everyone in the film would die a lot quicker than actually happened. But the filming is fine, the acting is all right, and the creature's interesting, although kind of cheap looking.
A little bit, but it was okay.
It's a guy in a mask.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here is all the influencer live streaming stuff, which is just annoying as hell and turned me off. I don't watch the streamers and the live streamers and that garbage, and it just seems so pointless. Yeah, I'm old.
Yeah, I am too.
It's Dullsville, baby.
Yeah, I mean, initially I'm thinking Henry and Haley, these are people I would block.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be interested at all in watching their stuff, yeah. But it was a relief when it got picked up and got more entertaining, and yeah, interesting premise.
Well, the ending does go somewhere.
It does, yeah. I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Protanopia, 2024, written and directed by Matthew Mailer, stars Timothy J. Cox, Anthony Carey, and Paula Mayer, and all the Mayer family from the looks of Mailer family from the looks of the credits. 1 hour and 15 minutes, and there's a trailer on the show notes. It's a Vimeo trailer, which is a little weird, but it's there.
Yep.
Spoiler free.
When a young woman goes missing, her brother has dreams about the house where Alan Roscoe Jr. lives. And things aren't at all normal with Alan or his house. It's really interestingly loaded with trippy visuals and bright colors and dreamlike sequences and camera tricks and general weirdness.
Oh, it's got a lot of general weirdness.
Yeah. It's thin on story, but it was really an interesting watch, so we both give it a thumbs up overall.
It's one of those visually experimental films.
Yeah.
I think mostly it does work.
And I think at one point I said, there's a plot in here somewhere, isn't there?
It is a little light on the story.
And there is. You can kind of eventually figure out what's sort of going on, but it's really all about the visuals and the audio, too. It's music and,
It's not so much a story as it is an experience.
A visual experience.
We open on a Bible lesson talking about a leprous house, and then credits roll. I don't remember the quote, but I don't think that had a whole lot to do with anything.
It was a leprous house. Sort of.
All right, it is the house.
Yeah.
A woman runs through the fog and opens a door. Then she's hit with a hammer, and someone starts putting up missing posters about her. A detective interviews Luke about the missing girl, who's his half-sister. Elsewhere, we've seen Alan, who kills an animal with his lawnmower, and seems to feed the remains to someone in his basement. Then he obsessively cleans his house.
He is an obsessive fella.
Yeah, he is. Alan bakes a pie and lets his guests in, but Janice also brings a pie, which throws off his routine. That damn Janice. She's something.
And it's okay to have two pies. You can serve two pies. You're allowed to.
But he was going to wow the crowd with his pie.
Yes, and they weren't because of her pie. Yeah.
This is the neighborhood watch group or the local HOA or something, and they all have to stop and have a prayer for Alan's recently dead father.
He is Alan Jr.
The meeting doesn't go as Alan expects, so he's not happy about that. Janice seems to be making a power play. They all eat her pie and not his. Luke and Jack talk about his writing, which is hard since Mallory went missing. Luke then has a weird vision. The first of many.
Mm-hmm.
Alan hears someone's downstairs and grabs a shotgun. He goes down and finds the ghost of his dead father there, and the old man isn't happy. He warns Alan to move the bones before he gets caught. He goes outside, digs up something, and his hallucinations just get more and more wild. Naturally, Janice shows up in the middle of all this to retrieve her pie plate. That goes badly.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. She had it coming, though.
Yeah, she left her pie plate there, and he broke it. He slides it off the counter and smashes it out of spite.
Well, Wikipedia tells us that protanopia is a severe form of red-green color blindness caused by the complete absence of long wavelength sensitive in the eye, commonly known as red blindness. People with this condition cannot detect red light, making them dichromats who only see in shades of blue, yellow, and beige.
And if you had that, you'd miss out on things in this movie.
You would. It's very color-coded.
Uh-huh.
When the screen goes red, Alan is crazy. When the screen goes blue, something weird is about to happen. And there's other colors, too.
Yeah.
Lots of weird visuals, colors, and camera tricks in this one. The music adds a lot to the experience as well. Kevin said toward the end, there's a story in there somewhere.
Yeah, I did.
And that's the impression I got as well. It's visually very neat, but there's not a lot of plot to it.
I was never bored.
A girl goes missing and people search for her.
I was drawn to the screen, though.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Definitely liked it more than disliked it. Yeah.
All right, now we have a somewhat controversial classic, Faces of Death from 1978. Directed by Conan Lecilier, written by Alan Black, stars Michael Carr, Samuel Berkowitz, who's dead. He's the frozen corpse.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets
that's
a screen
right.
credit.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And Mary Ellen Brightman as an hour and 45 minutes trailer in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't find the streaming somewhere for free.
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
It is, yeah. It's probably been copied and recopied and streamed.
I would guess.
Yeah.
Spoiler free? Well, there's nothing to spoil here.
It's not really a story.
Yeah, it's a collection of death and violence, some real and some staged, involving animals and humans, put together as a sort of documentary exploring the many faces of death. Narrated by an actor, Michael Carr, proclaiming himself to be Dr. Francis B. Gross. There's a lot of real graphic content, and even the stage stuff is pretty realistic, so it's not for the squeamish. It's an interesting piece of work, although we both thought it was a little on the long side.
Yeah, it started feeling long toward the end.
I think that whole last half hour could have been
It
cut.
could have been trimmed a bit. Yeah.
Well, what happens?
Well, we open on grainy footage of an open heart surgery. And we watch the heart beating in the opened up chest and then stopped.
Which looks more like a freeze frame than the heart actually stopping.
Mm-hmm, yeah. We see many photos of shriveled up dead people and an autopsy as the credits roll.
I assume that's real.
Those looked really real, yeah. Well, the doctor comes out and looks in on the next patient. He tells us about medical failures, which are common. He's Dr. Francis Gross, a pathologist, and he's compiled a whole library of the faces of death. He tells us about a recurring dream he used to have about a woman, a priest, and a funeral.
Okay.
And he narrates throughout, talking about his views of death and different aspects of death. And he talks about a cemetery in Mexico with mummified corpses. And he talks about matadors, bullfighting, and pit bulls in Mexico. He shows us a lost tribe in the Amazon jungle that uses blow darts to kill monkeys for food. And not only that, but these guys are headhunters. And then we cut to some farm animals being slaughtered.
Huh, fun break.
He's all over the place with this stuff, all over the world. And we then cut to a Middle Eastern restaurant that serves monkey brains. They bring out a live monkey and bash its head open and eat the brains while they're still warm.
In an infamous scene.
And actually, that's a fake infamous scene.
It is.
Yeah.
But it does look pretty realistic.
And it goes on with various attacks and deaths, and some are real and some staged. But it's all presented as real.
Yes.
Like a documentary.
Based on a true story. Well, okay,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a documentary and it all seems real. I know back when video stores were a new thing, this was one of the first tapes I rented. It just looked so cool.
I rented it back in the day.
And I assumed it was all real. There was no internet back then. We didn't know.
Trivia says that about 60% of it is real.
Yeah.
The director openly admitted to what was real and what was not.
But for the most part, even the ones that are fake look pretty good.
And I've got a link to the Wikipedia page that goes into the details about what's real and what was faked and how they made it. There's one death that's it's a body of a surfer washed up on the beach. They were doing B-rolls about pollution, and that just happened to happen. And they caught that on tape for real during the making of the movie. That wasn't archive footage or anything.
It is a cursed movie. People died in the making of it.
Oh, that guy did. Yeah.
Well, it's a little hard to tell with some shots whether they're real or fake, so it is very effective. There's lots of gore and blood here either way. This was pretty crazy for the 1970s, but it's kind of mild by modern standards. Or maybe I just read too much on Reddit.
We're jaded now. Yeah.
Just to follow the Watch People Die subreddit, which has been banned, I think, since.
There was once a website, justmeat.com, where they had all kinds of graphic deaths and stuff, too. And there was another website.
There's been lots of them over the years.
Yeah.
It's overly long, and I was ready for it to be over a half an hour before the end.
Yeah, I don't know about entertaining, but it's at least interesting. Yeah.
It was shock factor in the 70s.
Yeah.
I'd say it's maybe a little on the dull side today.
It's tamer now.
It is.
Yeah, but, if you're squeamish, you are warned.
But it's a well-known classic, so it's worth seeing.
And one thing that I thought was interesting, Adolf Hitler is listed in the credits. And on IMDb, he's got 43 credits as self. But there's 43 things that he's credited for on IMDb. I never knew that.
I doubt he's getting residuals from any of them.
Probably not. Yeah.
Well, after Faces of Death was in 1978, but oh look, it's back in 2026. Faces of Death.
Yeah, we had to watch the first one before, again to see.
There's also a Faces of Death 2 and 3 that came out in the 70s that I don't care to sit through.
Yeah, we haven't seen those. Yeah.
This is not a sequel to those.
No.
This is directed by Issa Meze and Daniel Goldhaber. Written by Issa Meze. Stars Barbie Ferreira, Dacre Montgomery, Josie Tota, and Charlie XCX. What?
Is it Charlie with an IE or
I don't know. XCX, though? Charlie the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
No. What is that?
19? No. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's like 909 or something like that. I don't know. Roman numerals was a long time ago. Hour and 34 minutes, trailer in the show notes. Spoiler free.
Oh, go ahead.
A video content moderator starts coming across videos where someone seems to be recreating scenes from Faces of Death from 1978. For real. Where are they? Mystery and tension ensues as she tries to figure it out and gets involved herself. It's not really a remake or a sequel. It's a horror movie that exists in the same universe that the 1978 movie does. Brian didn't like it. Kevin did. Split opinions on this one.
Uh-huh. Hard split on this one. I think you really disliked it. And
I didn't like the main
really
character.
Liked it.
I thought she was just too whiny.
Oh, I thought she was fine. Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens?
Well, we watch someone watching violent videos on the internet in a cubicle. She's a content moderator, working in an office of content moderators, where they disallow or allow submitted videos. And she goes through them quick. I mean, just
we see a glimpse of this one woman doing like sex education with a banana condom. This is the safe way to do this. This is the good way to do this.
And it gets flagged
for inappropriate content. Yeah. And yet there's other people getting their heads cut off, and she lets it through because that's okay according to the terms of service.
Yeah. Well, we get the familiar narrator from the Faces of Death movies pops up in one of these videos.
We recognize that voice.
Yeah. Well, Margot is interrupted, but she allows the video, tagged as likely fake. And then she goes home to a creepy old factory where she talks to her roommate Ryan, the artist. He wants her to go to a party. She's not comfortable going out, but finally agrees. She's immediately recognized as that girl from the train video and goes home.
She's got history.
Something upsetting there. Well, the next day, Margot gives a lecture to new hires about the moderation process. She goes to the roof for her lunch break and talks to a work friend who finishes her sandwich. And when she goes back to work, we hear that narrator again. But the video isn't from the old movie. We see a reenactment of the electric chair scene from the 1978 film. Josh looks at the video and says, let it through. DIY horror is trending right now. It's obviously fake. And she's not so sure. She has doubts that this one might be actually real. And she goes and cries in the restroom. She's stressed and burned out and anxious. And yeah. Well, Arthur, a guy who works in a phone store, sees Samantha's social media posting and tracks her down. This is a new characters. We soon see him following the influencer around town. And then someone, we know who it is, in a mask, grabs her in the locker room.
But we weren't absolutely sure it was him at this point.
Yeah.
It was.
There's some doubt. But meanwhile, Margot watches a reenactment of the monkey brain scene from the original Faces of Death, which is narrated, but this one uses a real person instead of a monkey. And boy, it looks realistic. She flags this one to remove, and she tells Josh again, but he doesn't want to escalate to the police because of bad PR. And this causes a flashback to Margot's death by train.
Margot's
sister's death by train during an influencer stunt. Yeah, they were horsing around in front of trains and running away from the train at the last minute, and her sister trips, falls right in front of it and squished. Well, she posts the beheading video, that first one she saw, on Reddit, and asks them, is it real or not? Arthur, meanwhile, is stalking someone new. Neil invites Arthur in, and they talk about making videos. Neil works in television, but when his son walks in, Arthur finds a reason to leave, with Neil's keys. And that night, Arthur returns wearing a mask and knocks out Ryan and his son Drew as well.
Okay, Arthur's a bad guy.
A twofer, yeah. So it looks like someone is recreating the 1978 Faces of Death scenes for real. It could be Arthur, yeah.
So are all horror films about filmmakers and influencers now?
Oh, a lot of them are,
this
aren't
week.
They? Yeah.
It's a neat idea using the old film as a template for murder, but the characters here are all kind of annoying stereotypes. It was a good attempt, and it was well enough made, but I didn't like any of the characters. So, yeah, it's kind of a thumbs down for me.
Yeah, I did. I gave it a thumbs up. I liked it. Didn't like it a lot, but I liked it.
You liked the use of Narcan?
Okay, I did like it a lot. What?
You liked the use of Narcan?
No, I didn't. That bugged me.
That's not the way it works.
Yeah, Narcan is something you take after opioids are taken, and it neutralizes the opioids. If you take Narcan first and then opioids, it don't work.
No.
But that's a key.
It does in the movie.
It's a plot point where a character takes a bunch of Narcan because they know they're going to be drugged. And, yeah. Other than that, it was totally realistic and believable.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is it for this week. Believe it or not, next week we'll have...
More movies?
5 more
Hot diggity.
horror movies. A couple of new releases. The Mummy will be in there, I think.
Ooh, The Mummy.
Mummy?
I've heard things about The Mummy.
We never did watch the second Lawnmower Man movie. We may have to fit that one in.
Uh-huh.
I've heard it's great.
Oh, I
don't remember seeing that at the time.
I've heard mixed things about it, but no, I never saw that.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out next week. Until then, I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
See you next week.
See ya.